Hello, this is Catherine Carrigan with a natural healing show for UK Health Radio. You can find all about my work as a medical intuitive healer and Amazon #1 bestselling author at catherinecarrigan.com, unlimitedenergynow.com, and what is social media today. Now, today we have one of my favorite people on this show. It's Sally Larsen's Sally B Skin Yummies, and we're going to be talking today about how to take care of your skin naturally. This is a topic that we've heard about and we all need more information about. We need to know how to have beautiful skin as we age and how to have beautiful skin without making ourselves literally sick by putting toxic chemicals on our skin. So welcome, Sally.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So Sally, would you share for our listeners and viewers your website information?
Yes, it's Sally B Skin Yummies. All spaces, no spaces, no dashes, just SALLYBSKINYUMMIES.com.
Thank you. Now, Sally, all women use skincare products. Why should we care about what we're putting on our skin?
Well, in the last 20 years, there's probably been a revolution in terms of what we care about, what we're putting in our body, as you know. And most of us have figured out that there are certain things that have an effect on our health in terms of what we put in our body. It wasn't until maybe 10 or 15 years ago that I realized, thanks to you, by the way, that what I put on my body also impacted my health. That there were toxins that could get into your bloodstream, into your system simply from topical use. And more people are realizing that today, but not enough.
Now, Sally, what sort of people do you think need to be most concerned about what we put on our skin?
Oh, I think everybody should be concerned. I really do. Of course, anyone who has compromised issues already, but anyone who is trying to feel better, who is trying to clean up their act in terms of what they're putting in their body, also should be concerned about what they're putting on their body.
Yeah, and a lot of us are very concerned about what we eat, and we're very concerned about eating organic food and eating clean, but we forget, what is it that we're slathering all over our skin? Now, Sally, you started Sally B Skin Yummies in 2005, you're well ahead of the curve of the organic skincare trend becoming mainstream. What inspired you to take chemicals out of skincare products?
Well, I'm a cancer survivor. Back in the 90s, I had bone cancer, which was a very remote type of cancer. They cured the cancer. It was a terrible year, but they cured the cancer. But it left me with a condition called lymphedema, which is where, because they took out lymph nodes, and when they resected the tumor, I have a compromised lymph system in one of my legs. I would get infections, I would get swelling, and it took a visit to you, by the way, who got me sort of on the clean track of eating, and it really cleaned everything up. It helped me. I've had many fewer infections since I started cleaning up my act. But one day, you probably don't even remember this, but it was the holidays. I was kind of playing around with skincare, really more as a hobby than anything else. And I brought you something that I was proud of. And you said, "This is great, but why aren't you using organic ingredients?" And I was like, "I don't know." Why aren't I, Catherine? And so it started me down a research path that took, because that was early, and that was way before 2005. But it started me down a path of research that took a good long time. Probably 4 to 5 years before I actually formed the company. And because sourcing the ingredients, finding out what the ingredients are, takes lots of time. Talking to doctors, talking to chemists, working with different people. It was a real time-consuming process. But by 2005, I felt like I had something to sell.
That's fabulous. Now, for the listeners and viewers out there, and I'm going to give Sally a question, because one of the things about us women is we wear lipstick, which we end up eating. And I've got in my hands some of my favorite Sally B's products, which are the Sally B's Skin Yummies. Are these lip yummies? Is that what this is?
That's called a lip skinny.
Lip skinny, and then her lip gloss. And so can you tell us, Sally, what happens when we women put lipstick on our lips? Do we end up eating it? What happens to our lipstick?
Well, we ingest it partly because, like, when we eat or when our fingers go in our mouth, somehow what we've got on our lips ends up in our mouth. I mean, that's just a matter of transference. But also, things do go through the cells and get into your body that way. But so around your mouth is a particularly sensitive area because there's two different ways to get it on there.
Right. And I have heard that the average woman ingests something like 5 pounds of lipstick in a lifetime. Is that right?
I've heard that too. Who knows how to, I don't know how they came up with that number, but when you think about the number of lipsticks that you've gone through in your life, maybe it does add up to 5 pounds.
Yeah, well, I'm 58. I'm sure I've eaten a lot of lipstick in my life.
I'm sure you have too.
And it's really important. Now, when you are using or when you create organic things for the lips, Sally, first of all, the toxic lipsticks, which are pretty much everything that you buy from the drugstore or the department store, what are the toxic chemicals that are in the average lipstick that we're actually eating?
Well, the big one is lead. It takes, for some reason, the evolving of the lipstick formulas, they use different colorants that contain lead. And so, especially red lipsticks, you have to be careful about what they have in them. And they've done studies very, very recently that find that there's still some of the mainstream cosmetic companies, the lipsticks that are very popular, contain lead.
That's so
lead is toxic in so many different ways.
And now, if I put my lip skinny on my lips, or your Sally B's the lip gloss, okay, what do you have in your lip products that's not in the conventional lipsticks that I can eat and be okay? And
yeah. No, we try to use very, very whole, very and mostly organic. Those lipsticks are probably 98% organic that you've got in your hand.
Yeah.
One of the organic ingredients that's difficult to find is beeswax, because when you think about how far bees travel, even if you said, I don't have one pesticide in my whole yard, so a beehive in my backyard is going to produce organic beeswax, that's just not the case, because your neighbor 3 doors down could be putting pesticides on their flowers and their lawn. So sourcing organic beeswax, we have to actually go all the way to New Zealand, which has some pretty stringent rules about their beeswax and what they can call certified organic beeswax. We look for that certified organic seal on our ingredients. Later on, we can talk about certified organic seal on a product. But in terms of our ingredients, we look for those whole ingredients. We color things with micas. Micas come right from the earth. And if you've ever seen, you can probably Google mica colors and you'll be amazed at the number of colors. And if you've ever seen a cave where they actually mine the micas, the color stratas are just so beautiful. It's really amazing what our earth can provide.
Well, here at the Natural Healing Show, we're here to promote, being healthy naturally. And I know that one of the things that you're very proud of, and it means a lot to me as a consumer, is that a lot of your products have been certified by EWG. Can you tell everybody about the Environmental Working Group, how our listeners can find out about it and what that means for a consumer?
Yeah, the Environmental Working Group, or the EWG, is a watchdog group out of Washington, D.C. It is a U.S. group. I know we're talking to an international audience, but it's a U.S. watchdog group, and they look at, well, cosmetics are one of the not the only thing they look at. They look at cosmetics. They look at food. They do studies on sunscreens, on furniture, because even your curtains can have some kind of fire retardant that can cause harm to you. They do studies on so many different things to make sure that we are not exposed to more chemicals. The verification seal that we have obtained from the Environmental Working Group is a new program. They've been out for a long time. This verification seal, we were one of the first of 12 companies in the world to get it, and we had to share our recipes, we had to share our techniques, we had to share our make sure that they knew we had safe manufacturing practices. They did not provide the seal, although we're still working on every single product, because they even look at the essential oils, and we try to use as many organic essential oils as possible. But even an organic essential oil, for example, peppermint. I use peppermint in a couple of my products, and they said, "Have you had your peppermint tested for perligone?" I had never heard of perligone, honestly, and I had to go to multiple suppliers to find someone who did test for perligone. And did finally find one and did get overcame that hurdle. But that's just an example of the things that come up. They're very, very particular about what they look at, very picky. There are certain ingredients that they don't want you to use more than a certain percentage of. Some of them I understand, some of them I don't, but I believe them. They've got a lot of chemists working for them. And so we do exactly what they want us to do in terms of percentages.
Now, I'm holding the Sally B's Bee Glossy Lip Gloss, and it has this EWG verified seal on it.
Yeah.
And so that means, as a consumer, if you're buying skincare products with this seal on it, you're purchasing the most pure products that you can, that are certified by the Environmental Working Group to be safe for you and everyone in your family.
Yeah, all those babies that you kiss with that lipstick on.
Yeah, and how many of your products have that EWG seal, Sally?
We're up to 19 so far.
That's really exciting, and again, very important for us consumers, because the skincare industry is not very well regulated, and we are all subject to a tremendous amount of marketing. We're all, basically programmed that we've got to be beautiful 24/7, and throughout our lives. So we're all programmed we've got to be beautiful, but nobody's looking out, while we're trying to be beautiful, are we also being healthy? So, Sally, how has your business evolved since you launched it in 2005?
Well, we're mostly an online business, and as you know, the marketing a business online has its own set of hurdles. We try, and especially in the cosmetic area, because to try to teach people about different colors and about different scents and things like that online is very difficult. But what we do is we provide as much information in our product listings as we possibly can. We have complete ingredient listings in language that people can understand. When you look at a cosmetic product, and I'm sure you've heard this before, that somebody says, well, if I can't pronounce it, why would I put it on my skin, or why would I eat it? That really doesn't apply in the cosmetic industry, and I'll tell you why. The FDA, who is the governing body of the cosmetic industry, which, by the way, calls the cosmetic industry a self-regulating industry, so that means that they really don't do anything. But the FDA does have labeling requirements, and that what they do is require that we put labels in a language termed INCI, and INCI stands for International Nomenclature of Cosmetic Ingredients. So when you look at a label, you'll see shea butter. It doesn't say shea butter. It says, I can't even pronounce what it says. It's like Butyrospurnum parcum, but that's shea butter. I can't even, I mean, all the different ingredients, all the different inky names for ingredients, it is very challenging. However, the point I'm trying to make is that don't look at a long name and say, oh, I don't want to put this on my skin, because that could be as simple as jojoba oil or beeswax or something like that. So.
Right. Now, how have you seen the health and wellness message spread throughout the mainstream public? Because I think just like clean eating has become a phrase that we all use, you know, we're becoming more aware that we need to be careful about what we put on our body in terms of skincare.
Right, right. It is a message that not everyone will listen to. I'm really fortunate that we have a customer base that is very like-minded. Most of our customers come to us because they're already on some kind of health journey, on some kind of healing journey, and they want clean products. They're looking for clean products. Getting the message out to people who are not there yet is just a challenge that we face every day. That we all want to be healthy, and you never know when a loved one is going to have some kind of diagnosis that makes you go, whoops, I've got to change the way I do things.
Yeah. And, you know, again, the way a lot of us start is with some sort of diagnosis from the medical doctor or naturopath. And we start this natural healing journey, as you say, by eating better and, you know, practicing yoga, tai chi, qigong, and, you know, visiting natural healers. But part of that includes taking care of what we put on our skin. So, Sally, one of the things that I want to share with our listeners, if at all possible, what sort of skincare ingredients do people really need to watch out for and avoid when they're buying, you know, the traditional products that, again, from this unregulated, self-regulating industry? What sort of things do people really need to avoid?
Well, it is a little bit easier these days. When I first started, parabens were the big baddie. And I understand why cosmetic companies use parabens. I mean, I'll have to tell you, it's not that they're trying to poison people, but they do work in terms of killing bacteria. They extend the shelf life of a product, and they're very, very inexpensive. That's why they use them. However, they found parabens in breast cancer tissues from tumors that had been resected. And it is an ingredient that's just toxic in so many ways. So parabens are the first thing to look at. And if you look for parabens in any part of the word, if paraben is in there, it could be methylparaben, ethylparaben. There's so many different extensions that you can find. You want to avoid that. I have a particular distaste for petroleum products. Anything, mineral oil, for example. Mineral oil provides a barrier to the skin, but it doesn't let anything good get into the skin, and it doesn't let the skin breathe. It's also derived from petroleum.
And mineral oils would be in a lot of the inexpensive hand lotions, correct?
Yes, exactly. And again, they use it because it's inexpensive.
Mm-hmm.
Parabens,
What about toluene, which is in most nail polishes? And I personally don't use nail polish because I'm really sensitive to it.
Yeah, that's a biggie. And more companies are trying to make things without toluene. It's a hard thing to do. What we do is not an easy thing to do. There's another ingredient. Anything that starts with PEG, P-E-G, is probably going to be formaldehyde producing on the skin. So I avoid anything that begins with PEG.
Right.
There are endocrine disruptors out there. Propylene glycol, for example. One of the reasons that people use propylene glycol is because it enhances penetration. But it's also one of the very similar in chemical makeup to antifreeze.
Ugh.
Fortunately, there are now more natural alternatives to things like that, but you will see propylene glycol on an ingredient label.
Okay. And for our listeners, I'm going to include some more ingredients that you really want to avoid. Artificial fragrance. Synthetic fragrances can cause headaches, dizziness, hyperpigmentation, vomiting, skin irritation, and even anaphylactic shock. Avobenzene, also known as Parsol, it damages your DNA. Dibutyl phthalates, and those are found in perfumes, hairspray, skin creams, and nail polish. It's a plasticizer. And then you talked about formaldehyde releasing preservatives, and they'll be listed as DMDM, hydantin. A lot of these are hard to pronounce. Triclosan, it's found in a lot of deodorants and antibacterial body washes. And
by the way, that triclosan, it definitely harms our waterways. And your hands are just as clean using a soap that does not have antibacterial ingredients you can use a regular soap to wash your hands and they're just as clean. And in fact, there's a good bit of thinking that you don't want to kill all the bacteria in your environment because some of it's good bacteria that enhances your health.
Yeah, and then you talked about the PEGs, the polyethylene glycol polyethylene compounds, and they cause allergic reactions. Phenylenediamine, it causes bladder cancer as well as eczeoma, bronchial asthma, and gastritis. And the synthetic colors, right?
Yeah, the thing that I am really big on here is the artificial fragrance and the phthalates. The reason that phthalates are used is because, when you get in an elevator and someone has heavy perfume on and you just feel like it's going to encase your body, it's so strong. Well, phthalates are what make perfumes stick. They're what make it's like a fixative for perfume. So when somebody has a cloud of perfume around them, it's the phthalates that are doing that, and they're really, really bad for you. They are coming out with more and more phthalate-free fragrances. However, until they really do more research on that, I think that none of us should use anything except essential oils for fragrance. If we need fragrance at all, we do try to make a number of unscented items. However, I love fragrance, so I do try to make some delicious fragrances using essential oils.
Yeah, well, here at the Natural Healing Show, we're big fans of essential oils, and I know myself, I use organic orange oil and organic rose oil. I wear those every day, and I think I smell beautiful, and I'm also not spending as much money as if I had bought commercial perfume.
Right.
So, Sally, what are the differences between natural, non-toxic, and organic skincare? Because those are...
Yeah, no, it's three terms that are pretty loosely bantered about. Natural, of course, poison ivy is natural. I'd rather use the term plant-based than natural because we see natural on everything. But what they're trying to say is that it does come either from the earth or from plants. And non-toxic, I actually prefer that term because you can create things in a lab that are non-toxic. I'll give you an example. One of my favorite things that's created in a lab is hyaluronic acid. Originally, hyaluronic acid came from an animal. It came from rooster comb.
Interesting.
It's a very interesting ingredient because it pulls moisture from the air and binds it to the skin. They went into the lab and they used, the one that we source is actually kosher. It's wheat-free, but it does come from a lab. It is not animal-based. It's plant-based. And but it makes this lovely ingredient that can give us the ability to make skincare products that are pretty high powered.
Yeah, so the hyaluronic acid, say that really fast, I try and use that in the evening. And some of your products, which of your products have that? Because it's one of the top ingredients that actually helps you to have beautiful skin, especially as you age.
Right. It's in all of our serums and our moisturizers. We use a lot of it because it's such a great ingredient. But the question was about natural versus non-toxic. I like the term non-toxic because what it indicates is that there has been some sort of work done to make sure that those products are not going to harm your health. There are natural products that can harm your health.
Yeah.
Toxic says a little bit more to me. Organic, as I said previously, I really like, what I strive to do is when I purchase a product that's plant-based, I want it to be certified organic. The U.S. has the USDA that certifies products here. There are different organizations in other parts of the world that certify things as certified organic. The reason that we have not gotten our certified organic seal on our products here is because we do want to we want to make products as robust and as close to mainstream products as we can. We want them to work. We want them to enhance your skin. I've heard a lot of people say, well, I just put organic coconut oil in my face. Well, no, don't do that, because there's a molecular structure to coconut oil. Those molecules are too big for your face. You're going to get pores. Your pores are going to enlarge. They're going to get clogged. When we use things like hyaluronic acid and we use water-based emulsions, we can provide the type of moisture to your skin that'll feed it without clogging it up. So if we were totally certified organic, we probably couldn't do water emulsions because we use plant-based preservatives. Really a lot of the energy that I've put into this company has been to use preservatives that are plant-based that actually do not grow bacteria. We test every batch to make sure that we're not growing mold or yeast. And that is challenging to somebody in my position because, like I said, parabens work. Those things will not grow with parabens. But even some of the well-touted plant-based preservation systems occasionally will grow mold. So what we've done is really work at a combination of ingredients. And I think we've got something almost that's patentable because we haven't grown anything in a really long time.
Yeah. No, I know some of our listeners may be out there going, well, it's just my face. It's just this small area of my body. But I have read that the skin on your face is actually more sensitive than the skin elsewhere in your body and is more susceptible when we're not using, these pure non-toxic ingredients. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Well, yeah, and even parts of your face are more sensitive than others, like under the eyes. People are very sensitive to under eye products. We don't even put any essential oils at all in our eye cream, just in case somebody has a sensitivity under their eyes. But also, just to your point that we don't just put cosmetics on our face. We do lotions, we do sunscreens, we do perfume, we do put hand butters, we put things on other parts of our body. Soap, there's all kinds of those soaps that say they're 99% pure or 99% natural. That drives me crazy because if you actually look at the ingredients, there's nothing natural or pure about them. So we do put things all over our body. We don't think about it, but we do. And our face, yes, our face is very, very sensitive and does absorb a lot. But will we put a lot on our face? We'll wash it, we'll put a serum on it, we'll put a mask on it, we'll put a moisturizer on it, we'll put sunscreen on it. We might, at the end of a routine, we might have 3 or 4 products that we've put on our face alone.
Yeah. And, a couple of years ago, I actually got skin cancer on my nose and I felt really bad about it. But the doctors are like, well, it's not necessarily what you're doing now, it's how you grew up. And I grew up in Savannah, Georgia, running around in the bright sun with nothing at all on my face. And one of the things that I learned is that the skin on your nose is unlike the skin anywhere else in your body. And so it's a lot more sensitive. So for our listeners out there who are raising their awareness, how can they go about finding these non-toxic skincare products? How do you find products that are made with organic ingredients and free of potential toxins? What do we need to look for?
Well, I think that the USDA seal does mean something. I think the EWG verification seal does mean something. There is a lot of greenwashing out there, so I have to tell everyone constantly to be careful about what they believe. Um, as I said, the word natural is way overused. It can just mean anything, so I wouldn't go by that word. I would look for non-toxic, but sometimes somebody will say something is non-toxic. I'll give you an example of another ingredient that I really don't like. There's an ingredient in a lot of makeup called bismuth oxychloride. It's usually in foundations. It is a byproduct of lead and copper processing.
Ugh.
It's kind of gross, and it does come from the earth, and they can call it natural all day long. However, some people, and not everyone, but some people are very, very sensitive to it, and they'll break out. And because they're using a natural product that everybody says is so safe, they will not know that that's what's breaking them out. And this happens a lot to teenagers. They'll think that they're just breaking out because they're teenagers. And I've had, we provide a makeup without bismuth oxychloride, and I've had people come in and say, you know what, I didn't know that's what was causing my acne. When I got away from it, I stopped breaking out. And it's not that simple for everybody, but that's just a really good example.
As a medical intuitive healer, over the years, I've worked with lots of clients with, every kind of skin issue you can imagine. And it's been very educational for me when people bring in all your makeup, bring in all your skincare products. And then I sit there and I'll use kinesiology and I'll show them, because it's not necessarily so much for me as it is for them. I will show them just how toxic their makeup is, and they're very, the creams that they spend $100 per jar on. And what I find myself by using organic skincare, my skin doesn't break out like it used to.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear that a lot. At the same time, every once in a while, because these are plant-based products, just like you can, I feel so bad for people that are allergic to dogs and cats, but just like you can be allergic to an animal, you can be allergic to a plant-based ingredient. So it is really, really important to look at the ingredients in a product. If you ever have a reaction, check those ingredients and make sure it's not one that you already know about. But if you don't already know about it, then write it down and keep it in mind as you look for other things. There's some really powerful antioxidants in nature that we use in our skincare, and they don't agree with, we might get 10 returns a year from somebody that says that they had a reaction, but that's in a whole year. That's thousands of products going out the door. So it doesn't happen very much, but it can happen.
Now, Sally, what are some of the benefits your customers have seen from using Sally B Skin Yummies? Because what I like about using your products is you've already done the work for me. I don't have to read the ingredient list on Sally B's, because I already know it's going to be pure. And once I see that EWG seal, I know it's like really tested out. So what are some of the benefits that people see when using these pure non-toxic skincare products?
Well, you can look at the reviews on our website. We do have people that feel like they have pretty great changes in their skin by using these products. I do think that it's part of a health journey when you switch to a product, that you're doing other things right for yourself as well. And I'm sure you tell your clients all the time about different things that they can do to enhance their skin that don't have to do with topical application of things. That exercise and avoiding sugar and eating the right green things and eating organically and keeping certain things out of your diet all help your skin.
Yeah.
We try to provide this accompaniment to your natural, healthy lifestyle. Here, I used the word natural, and I said not to do that.
For certainly eating an anti-inflammatory diet, avoiding the foods that cause inflammation, caffeine, alcohol, tobacco, sugar, fried foods, gluten, all those things will affect your skin. Juicing is fabulous. Lots of pure water is fabulous. Now, Sally, can anyone use organic products?
I mean, I don't know why the answer to that would be anything but yes, but yeah.
Now, Sally, tell us about your daily skin routine. How do you take care of your skin naturally?
Well, I do. I mean, washing your face is one of those really key things. We're exposed to a lot of environmental toxins um, that we don't actually put on ourselves, but just going outside, we're exposed to toxins in the air, especially if you live in a big city. So washing your face twice a day is really important. Getting your makeup off at night is really important. I don't care how tired you are. Getting that makeup off is something that's going to pay off in the long run. Cleansing twice a day, using a moisturizer and or antioxidants on your skin is super important. We have a product called Antioxidant Boost that's got a lot of vitamin C in it. And it's actually a powder, and I'll tell you the reason we do that. It's a weird little product, but it's one of our very best sellers. It's a little tiny jar that comes with a scoop. It has 85 scoops in that jar. You put a scoop in your hand, you mix it with a serum. You can even mix it with water if you're just, don't have anything else to mix it with. But vitamin C is really a fantastic ingredient for the skin, but it's also really fragile. So when you see a serum that has vitamin C in it, chances are the effectiveness of that vitamin C has degraded over time. What we try to do is provide fresh vitamin C so you can have like a fresh vitamin C cocktail when you mix that up in your hand. The vitamin C is one of those things that fights environmental factors. So I recommend that you wash your face, that you use some kind of antioxidants on your skin. Sometimes it's vitamin C, sometimes there are other antioxidants that are provided by, like sea buckthorn oil is a great antioxidant. Green tea is one thing that fights the effects of the sun, by the way. And then a moisturizer, and then lots of sleep. I think sleep is one of those things that we all need. And then once a week at least, a good facial, a good exfoliation, using a mask and not using a scrub. I don't like scrubs because our skin is so sensitive that scrubs can tear the capillaries in your face, especially if it's a quote unquote natural scrub, made with apricot pits or sugar or salt. Those, when you think about those crystals that are in those things, they're not spherical, they're uneven, and they can tear the skin. Our skin is really sensitive and can be torn that way. And if you're worried about the look of pores, you definitely need to be careful about what you, quote, scrub your face with. I'd much rather you do a gentle mask. A clay mask helps remove impurities, helps remove dead skin. You want to do something to get rid of the dead skin because you want fresh skin to receive the benefit of good ingredients. And so we have a toner we call fruit acid toner, which actually has acids derived from different fruits, from bilberries, from lemons, that actually help keep the dead skin at bay. So that's one way we do it. A professional esthetician who uses natural products is also another way. If you do that regularly, getting a facial every once in a while, making sure that your skin is properly exfoliated and not exfoliated with too drastic a measure, is a great way to make sure that your skin is receiving fresh ingredients.
This is just such valuable information because I know for myself, I always like scrubs. I always feel like, oh, I'm getting something good. So let's go back to what you're talking about, washing your face, because I know you and I have talked about this, and I've always wanted to get my face squeaky clean. So how should we be washing our face when we're wanting to keep our skin healthy naturally?
Well, there are so many different types of cleansers out there. One of the ingredients you want to avoid in any cleanser is sodium lauryl sulfate. Just stay away from it. It's a bad ingredient. It's bad for our waterways. It's bad for your skin. It's bad for you. It is one of the things that makes soaps foamy. So be prepared when you move to a natural soap to not have quite as much lather as you're used to. That's really okay. You're still going to get clean. We do actually make a cleanser We only make one cleanser because it really works for every age. It's called Tamanu Luxury Cleanser. It has tamanu oil in it, which is one of my favorite oils. I love talking about tamanu oil because, and honestly, I don't know how to pronounce it. If it's tamanu or tamanu, I pronounce it both ways. But I've even seen dermatologists write about tamanu oil because it comes from Polynesian islands. Polynesian women use tamanu oil on wounds, on rashes, on inflamed skin, on burned skin, on scars. They use it on acneic skin to calm it down. It's a huge anti-inflammatory ingredient, and it's really, really lovely. It's a little earthy smelling. We managed to cover that up with some great essential oils, but we put tamanu oil in 2 or 3 of our products, and our cleanser is one of them. It's probably our best-selling product because it gets your skin very, very clean without stripping it, without making it squeaky. Your skin still feels soft and supple. However, it does get makeup off. So it's pH balanced. So you want a pH balanced cleanser to keep your skin normalized.
Now, also for our listeners who are looking for non-toxic skincare products, we talked about the things to avoid: the toluene, the phthalates, the parabens. What sort of, and you talked about the tamanu oil. What sort of natural ingredients are really, really good for us that we should be looking for?
Well, I like things that have green tea in them. I like things that have sea buckthorn oil. I like jojoba oil is a very interesting oil. It's actually not an oil, it's a wax, but it's kind of a liquid wax. But they've done a lot of studies on jojoba oil, and it actually matches the sebum in your skin. And so it's a really good calming and nurturing oil for the skin. I love jojoba oil. There's another oil that I love called black seed or black cumin seed oil. That is an oil that it's Cleopatra was said to put black seed oil all over her body to keep herself beautiful. We do find that it's one of those very nurturing, really good for you oils, and we use that in several of our products. We use camellia seed oil, and camellia, and the camellia. It comes from Japan, and it's the seed of the and I can't pronounce the Inky language for it. But anyway, camellia seed oil is a very calming oil. I love marula oil, which is an oil that comes from Hawaii. It's very hard to get that in a certified organic form, but we do find it in a wild-crafted form. I didn't talk about wild-crafted versus certified organic because there's always the issue of sustainability when you're talking about wild-crafted. But wild-crafted things are things that actually people pull up from the woods or in their backyard. I like to think that those things have not been processed in a way that's negative. So I will purchase something that's wild-crafted if I know that the sustainability factor is not something that's an issue.
Right. And then, the larger issue for us, we want to care about our own health, but we also want to care about the health of our planet. And when we're using and purchasing all these toxic products, that's all going into the toilets. It's going into the, you wash your face and that's all going down in the drain into our waterways. So by purchasing these non-toxic organic skincare products, eventually you're going to be helping the planet because you're not going to be polluting the environment every time you wash your face. So
this kind of speaks back to the scrubs, but some of the scrub materials from conventional scrubs are these little tiny scrub. I don't even know what they're made of. Microbeads have been outlawed in many states in the U.S. They get into our waterways. They settle on the bottom of our streams. Fish eat them. They have found them in the stomach of fish. They are really, really toxic to our environment, and it's another reason not to scrub.
Okay, well, I think I've learned my lesson. Stop scrubbing my face, and don't use commercial scrubs because they have the microbeads, which are really, really bad for us. So, Sally, as we finish up, what is one healthy skincare tip for people to start improving their skin today?
Well, nobody wants to hear it, but staying away from sugar. And getting a little bit of exercise is something that, lack of sugar and getting exercise and sleep are things that you'll see an immediate difference in your skin. I want you to complement that with great healthy products, but lifestyle changes really can help.
Really can help. So you've been listening to Sally B. Larsen, the owner, founder, and formulator of Sally B. Skin Yummies. And you can find her on the web at www.sallybskinyummies.com. You're going to find a tremendous amount of information where you can educate yourself about how to take care of your skin naturally. You've been listening to the Natural Healing Show for UK Health Radio. This is Catherine Carrigan, medical intuitive healer and Amazon #1 bestselling author. You can find out more about me at catherinecarrigan.com, unlimitedenergynow.com, and whatissocialmediatoday.com. Thank you so much for listening. And remember, when you take care of your skin naturally, you're going to feel better, you're going to look even more beautiful, and you're going to take care of the planet. Thanks so much for listening. This is Catherine Carrigan and Sally Larsen.